Hey everybody, this is Wes from the Console Gaming Crew podcast, and we want to proudly say that we are a part of the Boss Rush network at bossrush.net. BossRush.net is a place where you can find up-to-date news articles, blogs, and podcasts about video games. In addition to that, there is a growing collection of podcasts, not just in the gaming community, but other communities as well. We are honored to be a part of such a great network of podcasters and content creators. So please stop by and give everyone a listen at bossrush.net. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Yo, crew members, what it be?
Hey ho.
Hi.
Hey ho, hey ho.
I mean, that was about as close to getting back to it as we do.
Yeah.
Hey ho. Yeah, that was, yeah. Anyway, we are finally, after quite a long stretch, bringing you a new episode of Heroes and Villains. I can't even tell you the last one that we did. Couldn't tell you. Resident Evil, maybe?
Shit.
I don't know.
I don't think
I
it
could
was
tell you.
already.
I'd have to look back in the logs. I'm really not sure. But for today's episode of Heroes and Villains, it kind of worked out perfect. We are doing the Uncharted trilogy, and it works because there's three of us. There's 3 games, so it was easy to get. It was easy to get villains here.
Yeah.
So, for anyone that hasn't played the original, and again, we're sticking mainly with the 3 games. There is a 4th one, Uncharted 4: Thief's End, that came out. But we kind of left that out. We'll touch on a little bit of it when we discuss a little bit about Nathan Drake's backstory. But for the most part, we kind of stuck away from that one. But if you have not played any of the Uncharted games, first of all, I highly recommend them to anybody.
So,
except Dan.
I think
Our
Wes
last-
figured it out. I thought he froze for a second. I was like watching him. I was like, did he freeze? Is he alive?
no, so our last Heroes and Villains was actually season 3, episode 36. And it was Banjo and Kazooie.
Oh yeah,
The lovely half-hour run.
Touché.
That one actually
Yeah.
was nice.
That was actually really fun talking about Gruntilda and all that.
Yeah,
Stuff.
oh, yeah.
That was super fun. Yeah, and the one before that actually I think was Anthony's idea. Didn't we do GTA? Right? Did we not
I
do
don't
GTA?
know.
We did do no, we did because
GTA, that was
one
your
of us
idea.
had Trevor, one of us had Franklin, one of us had Michael. Yeah.
Yeah. Ow.
The fuck?
My still broke ass toe. I just
Ow.
banged it again.
My man singing shit.
Yeah. So yeah, for anyone who has not played the Uncharted games, I do recommend them for anybody other than Dan or people like Dan who do not like platforming, because platforming is a large portion of the game, and especially if you're someone who hates platforming like Dan does, it's especially rough in the first Uncharted. It does progressively get better, but the controls are a tad touchy and wonky in the first game. I ran off many a cliff by accident, like just trying to tap the controls to go one direction.
So
I
dumb.
flew off a cliff. But
So
it
dumb.
does get better as it goes on. But the story, in a nutshell, basically, of all 3 games, is you play as Nathan Drake, who is essentially a treasure hunter. And in each game, prioritizes a different treasure. They kind of get more and more large and grandiose as you go along. In Uncharted 1,
El Dorado.
Drake's Fortune, you're looking for El Dorado. In Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, it's Shambhala and the Chintamani Stone. And then in Uncharted 3, you're hunting for the Atlantis of the Sands. So in each game, a lot of platforming, treasure hunting, and a lot of crazy cool action scenes in between. So in a nutshell, that's what these games are about. But let's jump in. We're going to do Nathan Drake first. We're kind of going to collectively go over some things about him, and then we'll break into each of our individual things. So for starters, as I clicked out of my notes like the genius that I am,
He's a murderer.
Nathan Drake. Now, I don't know how far back you dug, but I'm sure one of you did. Do you know when Nathan Drake was born? And what his name was when he was born? If you did not, I got it. I just didn't know what you got.
Nathan Nate Drake. Born Nathan Morgan.
Yes. He was born Nathan Morgan in 1975. His first appearance is in Uncharted Drake's Fortune. His last appearance ends up in Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Wes, I'll let take a little bit more about this part because, one, this is his area of expertise, and I know he'll know a little bit more than I will about who he is voiced by, which is Nolan North. And Wes can give you a little more things that Nolan North has done because I know he's a huge fan of his. As am I. I played a lot of games and I've seen a lot of things that he's been a part of as well.
So when it comes down to Nolan North, he is essentially one of the biggest known voice actors.
He's like the gold standard.
He truly is. He played Desmond Miles in the Assassin's Creed series. You had him. He was playing David in the Last of Us series. He was in Saints Row. He played Tony Stark in the Marvel's Avengers game. And for a time he was for Ghost for the Destiny series. They went ahead. I mean, when they changed from Peter Dinklage, they went to Nolan North.
And he was also in a soap opera, I believe, is what started his career. I think he was on like some soap opera. I forget what it was called. You can look it up.
I believe that it is a General Hospital spinoff that's called Port Charles.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes.
And everyone knows General Hospital. It's like the one, like if you've never watched a soap opera in your life and you say list one General Hospital, it's about all you're going to get. That in Days of Our Lives.
He played Dr. Chris Ramsey. It debuted in 1990s.
Did you watch it?
No. It's called Notes, bub. I just know how to fill in really well.
Attaboy.
And it debuted in 1997.
Oh my god!
I should have been like,
boy.
I did indeed. It was amazing.
I used to watch with my grandma. It was our show.
I did watch. We
watched. And as of recently, I watched with my grandmother. As of recently, he has been portrayed by Tom Holland because there's an Uncharted movie that has been released. A little bit about
here's another who played him in the unofficial live action.
Oh, that was Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Nathan Fillion, whom originally myself included, everyone was campaigning for to be Nathan Drake in the movie
100%.
Until people started to realize that wasn't the time frame that they were going for with the movie, so it wouldn't have made sense. But if they ever do, he's perfect. Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely perfect. He did it in that little.
Kind of looks like him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is seriously the wildest thing. Like when they created Nathan Drake, it's like holy shit.
I don't care what it says. They used his likeness on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, like if they didn't, it's like, oh, you coincidentally
made him look like a real person
who looked like a real person whose name is also Nathan,
who is a famous actor, by the way. Come on.
You're all full of shit.
Now, did anyone? Now, do you know who his personality was based off of when they were coming up with the character for these games? When they were coming up with Nathan Drake, who they had in mind?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is Indiana Jones.
That's very good. At
the same time, we're also old enough to have watched. You know what I mean? The Indiana Jones movies.
The inspiration that they took, and the two people specifically that they.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Yep.
Johnny Knoxville and Harrison Ford.
Johnny Knoxville.
That's
Johnny
dope.
Knoxville and Harrison Ford. Absolutely.
That is that's
one of
dope.
Tennessee's greatest.
Yeah, and they did take because the games have such a heavy emphasis on history and treasure and exploration and stuff like that. They did take a lot from the Indiana Jones movies, a lot from National Treasure. One of the ways I explain this game to people that have never played it, I'm like, have you ever seen the movie National Treasure? Put that into a video game. It's kind of the same.
Put that in a video game and take away the Disneyfication.
Yes.
Of not killing people. And that's essentially what you have.
Yeah, you kill a lot of people.
And that's why I said when you first started, Nathan Drake, and you paused and I said, is a murderer.
Yeah, so they
big deal.
Him.
Get over it.
Yo, honestly, I love that argument that people have though, because everybody goes like he is one of the biggest serial killers in video games. If you look at everything he's done in all the Uncharted games and how many mercenaries he's killed.
Yeah,
here's the thing.
But he's killing mercenaries.
Trying to kill he's only killing people that are trying to kill him.
He's killing bad people, so I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
so
he's
a savior amongst men.
Yeah. Yes,
and
I
women.
agree.
And children.
I don't know.
And children.
And puppies.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna keep
How
going.
far are we taking
and cats.
Okay. Yes, and Komodo dragons. Got it. Okay.
I was thinking iguanas personally.
Yeah, don't let them bite you.
I don't know where Wes and
whip you with
Anthony
a tail.
got the bulk of their stuff from, but I did get a lot of my shit from the fandom website.
Yep.
I'm currently
for all of them.
So for that's where I got for my villain.
Okay, so Nathan Drake on fandom is described, and this is perfect. He is described as a professional treasure hunter who is a deep sea salvage expert and action pro with a knack for surviving by the skin of his teeth, known for being quick-witted and immensely lucky in the face of danger. And he possesses a deep knowledge of history, having spent basically all his life studying it. So that is a really, in a nutshell, breaks down who Nathan Drake is. And like I said, I did do...
So Lara Croft and Indiana Jones. Got it.
Absolutely. Well, when you... Now, has anyone played 4?
No, I have it.
Okay.
I have
actually,
yet to play it.
Good enough. Like I have not finished the 4th one, which I would love to. I only played the first couple chapters, which is perfect because that's when you
Was it
learn
good?
the bulk. Absolutely, it's just something else. I think I just started it before we ended up in the hospital having Cameron, so that's kind
fair.
of stopped everything.
That's fair.
But the cool thing is, especially for this episode, is that the parts that I did play are the parts that broke down the bits of the story that you don't get from the first 3, because the way it works is, so when you play Uncharted 1, you're already playing, an adult Nathan Drake.
Yeah, like you're an adult on a boat.
It's not until you get to the 3rd game, which Anthony's going to be covering, that you get...
No, I'm just covering the villain.
Well, you're covering the villain from the game, but my point is you're covering the villain from the
game.
Look, I can
don't give me too much credit there, pal.
That's fine.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Actually, I am that guy this time. But so it's not until you get to the 3rd game that you actually play a lot of the backstory, and you come into a younger, I think he's a teenage Nathan Drake. But then when you play Uncharted 4, you get from him all the way back. So what you learn, some of the childhood of Nathan Drake, and this is important as you move along. So like they said, he was actually born Nathan Morgan in 1975. He's the second son of American archaeologist Cassandra Morgan and her husband. In 1980, when he was 5, his mother had been suffering from an unknown terminal illness, which soon led to her suicide. After her suicide, Nathan and Samuel's his brother, their father decided to give up his hold on them and surrender his sons to the state. Not long afterwards, they were entrusted to the St. Francis Boys' Home, a Catholic orphanage ran by nuns and priests. All of their mother's possessions, including her archaeological works, were later sold by their father. So you spend the next 2 years in this orphanage, and the orphanage is actually where you start Uncharted 4. So you play a little bit through the orphanage. This is where Nate hones his like free running parkour skills that you use recklessly throughout all of the games.
Parkour.
This is essentially where he perfected that. So I'm gonna speed forward a little bit because there are some things that aren't necessarily important. But eventually he wants to know more about his mother and stuff like that. So he breaks into the house containing his mother's journal. Him and his brother. The two are confronted by the mansion's owner, who first mistakes them as trespassers and calls the cops. However, as soon as they tell them their story, the owner apologizes for misunderstanding and reveals to them that she was a friend of their mom's, and gives them the journal where they learn the story of Francis Drake and how Francis Drake, or so his mother assumed or really thought, is that Francis Drake had 2 heirs, being Nate and his brother. And upon hearing the story is when the both of them decided to change their name to Nathan and Samuel Drake instead of Morgan, and to then pursue Sir Francis Drake's prized possession, which is the ring that he's always wearing, Sic Parvis Magna. I think it says greatness from small beginnings, that you see in the first game, and is actually part of the story in the 3rd game. That's where it starts, as you try to steal that ring out of a museum. So that's like the major backstory on Nate, is that he started off in an orphanage after his mother committed suicide. Upon hearing the story about Sir Francis Drake, which is what kicks off all the events of all of these games, again, it works backwards if you think about it, because then when you get into his adolescent years in the 3rd game is when he meets Sully, who teaches him how to be, let's just say, a better thief, a more cunning thief, not so obvious. So that's how
gotta learn tricks
of
the trade, man.
Yeah, so through honing his parkour skills, running around in the orphanage and, brushing up on history and learning all of this stuff, that's what leads us into the first game. And Wes is going to take the villain of the first game, Mr. Navarro.
Yeah. So
Well, I don't know his last name. I know his first name is Navarro. I don't know
no,
what the
his
fuck
last
his
name is Navarro.
Oh, it is. I thought his first name was
No,
Navarro.
his first
Oh
name
well,
is.
maybe his name is Navarro.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Actually, not
Sorry.
really. But Atok Navarro is his name. ATOQ.
ATOQ. Okay.
Yeah, and he is the main antagonist in Drake's Fortune, which is the first game that came out in 2007, I believe. He ran the mercenary army for Gabriel Roman, who was, essentially the secondary antagonist. But he was Navarro's boss. So
Yeah.
the first, I didn't know if you had anything else to add to that.
I was just gonna say, in like a lot of the way these games work, Roman is basically the guy with the money.
The guy with the
That's
money
usually
tells the
how it
guy that
works.
likes to kill people to go kill him, and then yada yada yada.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the first time you do see him is in the Amazon rainforest in the one chapter that is called A Surprising Find. You see him after you got done exploring the German U-boat that was stuck in the river, and by that point, he already had some guns pulled on you, and he took your map as well as your weapon, and they were already holding Sully. When you were able to go ahead and have the submarine explode, it gave you a chance to get out of the fucking haul ass. But good for that, because as always, for Nathan Drake, things happen at the most opportune times. Gotta love being the hero.
Absolutely. And I just want to add something. You know what really pissed me off in that game, and it pisses me off in movies too, because it always works out like this. And this is something I believe they took from National Treasure. It's one of those things where somehow the bad guy always seems to capitalize off of all the things that the good guy figures out. It's like every time Nicolas Cage figured out something in National Treasure, that's when the bad guy would find him, take all the information that he spent half an hour figuring out, and then just is the same thing with Navarro in the first game. Is like he always finds you after you find out the secret, or after you find out the clue or the next clue. That's when he ends up finding you. Drove me fucking nuts.
Now, later on in the game, you do have a point that Navarro is talking with Roman and Eddie Raja, who is another enemy in the game. And they're essentially like, Navarro's freaking out because something's killing his men and he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And, he's just losing his shit when it comes down to it.
Mhm.
So, after Navarro got chastised for relying on Sully, because in the first game, you have some sketchy shit with Sully, because
We're trying to. The games have been out forever. I feel like we can.
07.
Some shit.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
it's been out for a stretch. It's been out for what, 15 years.
Yeah, we'll give you a spoiler alert anyway.
Yeah. So spoiler alert: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, so Sully was a little bit of a backstabbing motherfucker in the first game, because he was, look, man, he's in it for himself. That's Sully. That's always what it is. He's always looking at one or two angles when everybody else only sees one.
Mhm.
So yeah. Oh shit, where was I? I do apologize. Yeah, so Navarro, he was real fucking pissed about everything with Sully and relying on Sully. So because what everybody's looking for, they're looking for El Dorado. At first, it was believed that El Dorado was a city, obviously the city of gold. But what they ended up finding in the game, and Andy, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, because once again, it's been a long ass time since I played the game.
Yeah.
El Dorado ended up being like a thing, not necessarily.
It ended up being a golden idol.
A golden idol that had like some type of bio weapon inside that caused that caused like zombification, I believe is the technical term.
Essentially is
me, I'm always a scientist.
Yeah, it was essentially filled with like an ancient curse, basically, is what was in that thing, like an old ancient diseased curse that just overtook everybody. And you can imagine, I'm sure you have it in your notes, if not I can go a little further, but what Navarro wanted to do with all that.
Oh no, he wanted to sell it on the black market.
Of course, because that's what they do,
dude.
Right?
He's a merc. You know what I mean? Yo,
exactly.
all he wants is money. So needless to say, Nathan Drake stops his plan. Navarro ends up getting his leg caught in a where the hell was it? In a helicopter, and he got drugged to the bottom of some water. So it was a little tragic for him. But one of the things I actually thought was really cool when it came down to this character is the person who played him. So the person who played him, his name is Robin Atkin Downs, and he was born in London, raised in London, but he got his Master of Fine Arts degree at Temple.
Oh wow.
So this dude actually
some homegrown
has
roots.
yes, and I mean this guy actually has some ties to the local area, and I just thought that was really really cool. He
Yeah.
also has he's done a handful of roles. He's voiced a handful of characters, like a character named Ack from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
You
wow.
had David
Heard
in
that
the
was a good
English
movie.
dub of Steam Boy was another one. Manchester
Okay.
Black in the Superman versus Batman, Superman versus the Elites, which was a twisted fucking movie. It was so good. It's part of the run of DC to where their animated stuff was better than anything Marvel could ever do, which pretty
Okay.
much is still the case. But yeah, man, that's mainly my part when it comes down to talking about this franchise.
Okay, yeah. So that battle at the end of Uncharted 1 with Navarro is wild. So like Wes said, there's just a little lead in. Like you get all the way to the end, you basically end up fighting him on um this giant ship. It's like I don't know if it might be an aircraft carrier, I think. If I remember correctly. It's just some sort of cargo ship, and you fight him
Just a
throughout the ship.
freighter.
And
It just says here a large freighter.
okay, and once you get to the very end, when it's just you and him, um, there's a helicopter that crashed on part of the freighter. And that's where you're fighting him at. And once you have like the final sequence, he gets his leg caught in like a cable that's attached to the helicopter, and then the helicopter goes over and just drags him and the idol completely underwater. But it's a wild battle. That's fun. He's got this like super high powered sniper rifle that just like you have to hide behind cover, and he blows up the cover as you fucking hop back and forth. It's wild. But moving on to Uncharted 2, which is the game that I took. It's actually it's out of the first three, it's my favorite in the franchise. So I'm happy that I got that one. As soon as Wes said I'll take the first one, I was like, "Ooh, okay, I'm good with this."
I mean, look, it wasn't hard for
Um,
me to pick that one because I haven't played the other ones. You know
yeah,
what I mean? At least
dude,
this one I have some type of
you
familiarity
s-
with.
you so should. And it's funny because Clyburn and I, Clyburn from the Twisted Cape, we were actually just talking about it because he jumped back
Yes,
into
he did.
Uncharted not long ago, and he was saying how excited he was when he got to 2 because of just how much, like, you can give this game credit because the first game was fantastic, but the little things that made it tough, they really cleaned up for the second one. So it was a lot more fun of an experience. But in Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, I have the villain whose name is Zoron Lazarovich. He was born 1963 in Serbia. His first appearance, well, his first and only appearance, is in Uncharted 2. I'll let you figure out what that means. He was voiced by Graham McTavish. Have you ever heard of him, Wes?
Yes, I believe I have.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple of things. Graham
Uh,
McTavish. He was Dwalin in the Hobbit trilogy. He actually was Loki in various Marvel animated projects.
okay.
So he voiced
So
Loki,
that could very well be part of like the What If series.
and he also voiced another Uncharted character, Charlie Cutter, in Uncharted 3, which I had no idea. So, but he's got a long list. Um, so Zoron Lazarovich, his profession, he is a Serbian military commander. And his goal in this game, as is yours, you are looking for Shambhala and the Chintamani Stone. Now, the Chintamani Stone, in Buddhist and Hindu culture, in both societies, the stone is said to be a wish fulfilling jewel. According to the Buddhist religion, the stone fell from the sky inside a chest filled with several other relics, and the king of Tibet at the time would go on to claim these relics and then later explained to him by two traveling strangers. And the two travelers explained to the king that the stone manifests itself into whatever one desires. So you can imagine why something like that would be hunted by a mercenary, of course. So basically, you are in a race to get to that thing before Zoran does, because obviously you're going to have way more wholesome ideas for that thing than he would. So Zoran Lazarovich, born in former Yugoslavia, he participated in the Yugoslavian wars as a Soviet intelligence officer. His uniform and equipment is stereotypical of volunteers. During or after the war, Lazarovich was hunted and targeted by NATO. He survived the assassination attempt, although he would always bear scars on the right side of his body from deep bombing. At some point later, he began to search for Shambhala, wanting to consume a special resin that comes from there in order to become unstoppable. So basically, he wanted it to, have eternal life. He spent millions of dollars in his search for the lost city. However, his search went in vain as he could not find any trails to Shambhala, and this is where, except for files he found from the famous adventurer traveler Marco Polo. Lazarovich hid the fact that he was after the resin itself, claiming he was only after the Chintamani Stone. Now, the fact that his hunt for this thing was halted because he was too stupid to figure out what the fuck these clues meant is when he enlisted the help of Harry Flynn, who you meet in the beginning of the game. Well, Harry Flynn and Chloe Fraser, who become... You have something, Wes?
I do. So I decided to look a little bit more into Graham McTavish. Anthony, you said you watched the Castlevania series on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah, so Graham McTavish, he voices Dracula in that series.
Yes, he does.
Like, that's fucking nuts. That's pimp.
Have you ever seen it yourself?
No, I have. Dude, it's one of the
Watch
ones
it.
you and I have talked about that I need to get into.
Watch it tonight. Watch it.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're fine. So he enlists the help of Harry Flynn and Chloe Fraser, who just so happen to know Nathan Drake. And that is how Uncharted 2 begins. You end up on a beach, and Harry Flynn approaches Nate with, this stuff from Marco Polo and saying, hey, I have, we have a link to this thing in the museum, and it could be this whole thing. And obviously that's right there is the type of shit that gets Nate hard. So, he was in on it. So, he was all about it, not knowing that Harry Flynn was working for a crazed, deranged Serbian commander. And, you find that out later on. But there's a huge, fun, epic battle at the end of Uncharted 2 against Lazarovich, which is... it's tough. It's definitely tough, especially when you get to like the different difficulties that I played on to be able to platinum the damn thing. It's definitely a wild experience, but Zoron is crazy, and his whole army, it wasn't like, when you played the first game, some stupid people that didn't quite know what they were doing. Like they were just your average henchmen is basically what they were. When you play Uncharted 2, you're going against, military with military grade weapons and much different tactics where they try to flank you and stuff like that. So it was a whole different ball game. But that was Uncharted 2 and I keep saying Victor and Zoron Lazarovich. I don't know why Lazarovich feels like he should be a Victor, but whatever. Zoron Lazarovich. And then we will move straight.
If you look at if you actually look at his on Uncharted 3, yeah, I'm going to pick up there. If you look at his picture, he looks like a Victor.
Right? Like it's not just me.
No. He looks like a Victor.
Hello.
My name is Victor.
In fairness, I feel like I could see a Zoron looking like that too. But
maybe yeah.
Maybe he's Zoron Victor Lazarovich.
It's possible.
But,
so we're gonna go into Uncharted 3. This is where I take over, and my main antagonist is Kathleen Marlowe, also known as Scary Poppins and Your Majesty, and that Marlowe woman.
Big cunt.
I love that.
Yeah. That Marlowe woman.
Well, you guys know me. I always run the breakdown of the actual character itself. Her occupation, she is the leader of a secret hermetic order. She's got complete genius intelligence, maintaining leadership, manipulation, sophistication, cunning, resources, and knowledge of Queen Elizabeth's past. By the way, her hobbies are toying with Nathan Drake and plotting. Also,
facts.
Also, her goals
like
are to locate the djinn from Aram of the Pillars, which, anyway, and then bring society under control by using the djinn's hallucinogenic powers. We'll get into that in a little bit. Her crimes, by the way, attempted murder through her men. Kidnapping, attempted global conquest, attempted mass subjugation, arson, brainwashing, extortion, espionage, psychological abuse, assault, theft, forgery, treason, and conspiracy. if you're
And
curious, if you yeah, and if you're curious the type of villain she is sophisticated. She's a sophisticated mastermind.
So a lot of light
okay.
shit.
Yeah, nothing.
A lot of light shit. Nothing like too crazy.
Nothing too serious. Nothing that's going to land you more than 100 years in jail. So yes, Kathleen Marlowe is a sinister, manipulative, and coldly calculating leader of a secret hermetic order that was formed 400 years ago by Queen Elizabeth. I went over what her mission was. Is basically to find and harness the power of the Jinn and use it against her enemies. Now, there's not too much on background for her, but I'll go into what I do have. She became the member of the Hermetic Order, the secret society established by Queen Elizabeth to control Britain's enemies through deception and fear. She learned about the powers of the Aram of Pillars, where King Solomon used the Jinn against his enemies, but learned that the water was contaminated and gave people hallucinations.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's
During
right.
her
She's a real
20s,
motherfucker, man.
during the 20 years before the events of Drake's Deception, which is the third game, she presumably recruited Talbot into the Order. Now, really quick, I am going to get into who Talbot is. He is the secondary antagonist in the third Uncharted game. Just a little synopsis of him. He is her right-hand man and a high-ranking agent in the Order. The two attempt to find the pillars and retrieve the brass vessel containing the spirits of the Jinn. He is also voiced and motion captured by Robin Atkins Downs. I think we heard that name earlier, did we not? I think that was Wes, right? I think Wes said that. Yeah. So he also played Talbot, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah,
so was he the guy that voiced yours too?
Yeah.
Voiced and mocapped Navarro, yeah.
So there you go.
Damn,
so he played both.
He's really good at being evil. Fuck.
So that's pretty cool. So that's who Talbot is, really quick. Talbot is Marlowe is Talbot's mentor, just like Sully is to Drake. If people don't know who Sully is really quick, I think, did one of you guys talk about who he is really quick or no?
No, we didn't. We literally just brought him up.
We kind of didn't talk. I don't know why we didn't.
I feel
I'm
like
thinking
Sully,
about that now. That's stupid as shit.
I feel like Sully is.
He's very important to the story of all the games.
Yeah.
But...
So, well, I don't need pictures. I need information. Jesus fuck,
So...
Victor Sullivan. His name is Victor Sullivan.
Okay.
Anyway, his occupation is a treasure hunter, businessman, United States Navy serviceman, if you did not know, which I thought was pretty cool. Really quick, here's a list of his ages if you were interested. Wow, that's really weird. But anyway, in the beginning of the game of the Uncharted 3, he's 40. Uncharted Drake's Fortune, he's actually 56. Uncharted 2, he's 59. Uncharted 3, the main portion of the game, he is 60. Uncharted 4, he's projected to be 63 to 65.
And in the Uncharted movie, he's projected to be Mark Wahlberg.
Right, which
he's
would
just
be
whatever the
like
hell Mark Wahlberg is.
Well, which
like 50?
Which would put him, I guess, at 50. Man, that's so weird.
40 something.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Funky Bunch was a long time ago.
I know. Anyway, that's a little bit of Sully. Really good guy. Stand up gentleman, if that's what you want to say. Holy shit. I lost where I was. No.
Okay, so while you're finding where you were,
please continue.
For Kathleen Marlowe, I was looking at the person who voiced her and mocapped her.
Oh, I have all that info.
It was.
Don't take that from me.
Then I won't.
Dang, bro.
Don't take that from me. I have all that info. I'm gonna get into
honestly,
that.
Dude, I'm losing it when I'm looking back at her filmography. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, she has done a lot.
Wow.
Well, so okay, we're gonna. Who she was portrayed by is Rosalind Ayers, who also has an extensive filmography.
Since 1972.
Starting back in 1972. Home and Away. Here we go. We'll go into the 80s. 1994 is Black Beauty. 1997 in Titanic, she played Lady Duff Gordon.
Shit.
Now, what I find now here, this is something that I find interesting. She does two voices in video games, one in 2005, and then Nathan Drake or Drake's Deception in 2011.
That is quite interesting.
Now, in 2005, she plays Queen Elizabeth in The Age of Empires 3.
How funny is that, given her character in? It's crazy, right?
Yes, it's wild, dude. By the way, she's still not done acting. She just did a movie in 2020. Looks like it's Kate and
Koji.
Kate and Koji. Yeah. So she's still active in everything else, which is really cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, currently 75 years old, man.
Still kicking.
And
Okay, I think I found a little bit. So, Marlowe's first appearance after Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan defeat her men in a bar brawl in London. But they are cornered outside. After ugly banter between the three, she forcibly takes what she thinks is Sir Francis Drake's ring. Though it turns out to be a fake, as she goes to leave, Drake and Sully try to follow, but are shot and seemingly killed by Charlie Cutler, who is left behind as punishment. Back in the present, Drake, Sully, Chloe, and Cutter, who is actually an old friend of Sully's and acting as a double agent, follow Marlowe's trail to her underground lair, where they retrieve the cipher disk. Learn that she's looking for Aram of the Pillars, also known as Ubar, quest previously undertaken by Sir Francis and T.E. Lawrence, and use the disk to search for clues to its location. Andy, you look like you're foaming at the mouth to input here, so please do.
No. There's no input. It's just here. Every time I hear more about this game, it makes me want to play it again. Just because this is one of the very few games that finds a way to blend like real history with a fun video game. So like you learn cool shit along the way. Now, is all of it real? No, not all of it.
But they have done a very good.
Sir
I
Francis
do
Drake
agree.
And Lawrence of Arabia and all that shit. Lawrence of Arabia specifically in your game.
I
so
do
cool.
agree that going back and even if you played them on easy just to get the full story again would be fun. Not even to play it. If you just want to, after you hear this episode and you have played them and you want to go back and play them on the easiest difficulty so you can literally just enjoy the story.
Yeah, and that's literally what it's for. And it's
yes, Wes.
So easy.
What do you got?
So I mean, I'm just looking at Kathleen Marlowe, and she has a.
Yeah,
very
I
much
know what you're
like
gonna say.
like a Meryl Streep or like a
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, absolutely.
Or
Helen
dude,
Mirren.
even
By the way, that's like my old hottie, like old hottie crush.
Yo, dude, for real.
Like, oh my god, that ass, like,
dude, she looks fantastic in this. Like, I keep on looking at her like,
she's absolutely beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful.
Damn.
Not fucking like the lady we're talking about. I'm talking about my old hottie crush.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I need to figure out mine now. What are the qualifications for the old hottie crush? Like, what's the age have to like over what?
It doesn't matter. I mean, I would say anything 16 above.
16 above. Okay.
I think 16 above.
16 above.
16 above qualifies. Yeah. I mean, shit. You can.
Do you realize how many women from like fucking like 80s rock band videos that now qualify for that?
God, well, what's her? Wait. Okay.
Any one of the bitches in Sir Mix-a-Lot's video.
Okay, we are so going off topic here, and I don't even care. Who? What the hell is? What's her last name? I think it's like Vergara.
Sofia Vergara.
How old is she?
60 yet? No, not there yet.
I'll find
Wes,
out.
please.
No way.
She's up there, dude. She's in her 50s.
She is 50.
Oh, she is 50.
She's 50.
Okay, well,
And
she's
you said
10
over
years.
60. Right?
I would say 60 and above for sure, because I think Helen Mirren is like 70. Or late 60s, early 70s. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm close. Mid to late 60s, maybe even early 70s.
Dude, this fucking list. Oh my god.
Wesley found a list.
I
feel
found
like
a list of
we should
stunning
go
celebrity women over 60. Okay?
We should go after this. We can talk about this. Well, Andy said he's got to bounce afterwards. Wes, you and I can talk about this afterwards if you want.
I'm just going to do this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Christy Brinkley, Kim Basinger, Jacqueline Smith, Celia Ward, Raquel Welch. Dude, Raquel Welch, come the fuck on, man.
Bruh, Celia Ward, like, I like Celia Ward, and I think she's a great actress, but, like, she's starting to look like a Buick seat. Like she's gotten so much work
Jesus
done, bro.
Christ.
She's had so much work done. Like her, like there's
said she
no.
looked like-
By the way, tonight's episode is Grandma's love interest.
Heroes and villains, grandma's love interest. All right.
Yeah, that's it, dude.
Kim Basinger is almost 70. Where have I been?
Wow, right.
In your house, living under a couch seat.
But the face that I made is I had no idea that Julia Louis-Dreyfus was 61.
Oh yeah,
What?
anybody over 60, bud? There you go.
Elaine is over 60?
Yeah, she's still cooking. She might be mine right now.
I mean, look, yo, Veep turned it around for her, so.
Yeah, all right. That's all I got, dude. I've lost it.
No, you hit it all. What? We go from talking about Uncharted. Now I'm looking up hot 60-year-old.
I feel like, can you do me a favor, please, and share your Google search with your wife later, please?
I will.
Because I mean, I will too. I'm just saying. I think it's gonna. I feel like we need to.
As soon as I go downstairs.
Yeah, I feel like we need to do that and then have that conversation next week on the podcast. Next week's podcast is conversations with wife about hot old women.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rock with Julia for now because I could do this shit forever. Anyway, so let's get back to the topic at hand. So yeah, you hit everything with Uncharted 3. That game.
Now I think
know
because they have the trilogy out that you can actually play.
Oh, dude, it's part of the collection.
Correct. I think I'm just gonna
anyone with a
fucking do it. I think I'm just gonna do it.
Bro, you got.
I know.
you
I was
start-
doing.
you s-
Bro,
yeah, you were
did.
actually streaming it, and I was enjoying the shit.
I was
out of
streaming, and
watching
you know
that.
what's fucking wild is I was doing
That was
it
a
on
good
Saturdays.
time.
It was Uncharted Saturdays, and bro, I was averaging like fucking 10 people. I was
Dude,
averaging like
that shit was a
that's not
blast,
lot,
man.
But it was
fun.
like I had 2 people that I knew were watching. It was you two, and like the other fucking like
Yeah.
7 to 8 were randos. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Dude, you were
Wild.
killing it, and I had so much fun doing that too. And if you've never, is that the only one of the 3 that you've played? Is the first one?
No, I played the first 2.
You played the first 2, okay.
And I played, I think, a
Um,
portion of this one because the bar scene in the beginning of the game kind of I'm kind of like remembering some of that. So I'm
dude,
pretty sure I played
scene
the
is so good.
beginning. Yeah, I think I played
That
the
scene is
very
so good.
beginning, which is the opening scene of the bar fight. I'm pretty sure I played the opening scene, and I was like,
Yeah.
something came up, and I was like, whoa,
They're-
I'm probably never gonna
These
play this again.
games are the way their difficulties are broken up too is that literally anybody of any skill level could play this game.
my
Because
God, dude.
I
You could
do
probably
believe,
hand it
if
to
I'm
a
not
little kid.
mistaken, I'm pretty
wouldn't
sure
recommend
they
it.
have a difficulty that's either casual or even easier than casual.
think
That is
it's
literally
easy.
just so you can enjoy the story, which is like it auto aims and it's like one shot kill on everybody.
Yeah.
So
Which
it's,
is-
it's,
I'm-
it's
I might
It's
very
essentially
go
similar
back
God
to
into the
mode,
story.
but it's all there just to let you, run through the story and
Run
enjoy
through
the-
storytelling.
Honestly,
you wouldn't even need that because honestly, for people like us who are
But here's the
pretty
thing.
damn good at these games, you playing it on normal would be like most other people playing it on casual.
but if you
'Cause
played it
even
literally
normal
on the
is just-
easiest difficulty and you really wanted to like run through, it would give you the opportunity to enjoy the story. And if you really wanted to be a treasure hunter, you could take your time finding all the treasures because you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
absolutely.
There's that
But
too.
yeah,
Um,
the game does a great job at
Damn.
blending history with humor and action. There's so much funny shit in that game. Nathan Drake is like he might be pound for pound one of the most hilarious protagonists in a game. Like in a game that's not in a game that's
I was gonna
not
say, I could get
meant
behind that.
to be like like anyone in like Borderlands is meant to be funny. Like they're meant to be comically ridiculously funny.
Yeah, no. But
Like-
I do agree with you in that aspect that
He's up there.
he's
um,
definitely up there. He's not. Yeah, he's not like. I'm
And
trying
it's
to.
the- like
I'm trying to think like who was. I'm trying to think of like other movies that were like this game where they were extremely witty and stuff like that. And it definitely like it wasn't any
Yeah.
like the. I'm
No,
just
the
trying to think, there's
closest
not
the
much.
closest thing that would
Hmm.
come to mind would be the National Treasure movies. That's
Yeah.
the closest thing. That's the
Yeah.
closest. you're
Into
gonna
which
get.
they weren't necessarily witty. You know what I
They
mean? It
weren't
was
witty, but there were.
No, like there were.
It
there
was
were f-
clever,
there were
but-
there were clever and funny moments. They focused a little more, which is fine because I love those movies.
focused
by the
more
way.
on the
They
history.
focused more on the history. Yeah,
yeah, which is
which-
fun.
which is-
Yeah, which is good.
which is fine, and that's a lot of what I like in this game. It's just like funny enough. This goes a little off topic, but it's not too far. Alex and I were talking about Pawn Stars the other day because I was watching it, and
God, I missed that show.
I haven't watched that show in so
I
long.
Sorry.
dude, it's on literally all day,
Yeah.
all day, every day.
I remember going
So,
past that place when I was
I-
in Vegas too.
That's
Alex
dope.
too, and she was, and we were
jelly.
talking about it. She was like, all these people that go in to like sell this shit. She was like, most of these people just want their money. Like they don't give a fuck about all the history of these things that they run through. I'm like, no, but like that's the shit that I like watching the show. Of course,
That's
I
why
want
it's
to
on
know
the
what she
History
goes for,
Channel.
but like,
yeah.
like watching it and hearing like the background on these things, and that's what I like about this game so much is that like I'm playing a video game, but I also get to learn some cool history. Again, a lot of it isn't all isn't true. There's a lot of truth, but then there's a lot of stuff that's myths and
Yeah.
just different stories that you get from different religions, which is also fun. But they blend it perfectly, with the action and with the platforming and all that. And I hope to God that you're serious about getting back into it now that you're coming to the end of whatever your
Nope. I
sword or...
started a new game.
We'll get into that next week.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
We'll
we
get
don't
into
do
that next week. We're keeping this one just content. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's Nate and
The villains.
Zoron, aka Victor, and Navarro and Marlowe and
Talk Navarro.
Talk Navarro.
I think that's how you say it. I actually have no idea.
Probably.
I'm sure I'll hear from Alex. I mean, he'll definitely tell me because this is his favorite franchise of all time.
I thought his favorite franchise was Mortal Kombat.
I mean, Mortal Kombat is the one that he's run with the longest, but he has an actual Uncharted tattoo.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh yeah.
Davi does too. I'm pretty sure she has Sic Parvis Magna tattooed.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Something.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so it is that time, y'all. We're coming close to the end. So now I'm gonna let y'all know how you can connect with CGC. You can jump on the website, which is consolegamingcrew.com, or hit us up on email, which is consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @consolecrew. Easiest place to go ahead and hit us up. Our YouTube and Instagram are both Console Gaming Crew. You already heard in the beginning of the episode, bossrush.net. It is the best place to find anything content-wise for any and all, basically things gaming and nerd and just all that type of culture, man. It's all good. And just their whole thing is be better, man. And they definitely work hard to get there. So bossrush.net. It's Boss Rush Network. Also, we have our Twitch, which is CGC Podcast. We have my co-op Monday nights, which we just finished up Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So gonna figure out what else we're going to do from this point on. I'm not entirely sure yet. And I think we might have temporarily found the end of Fun Friday. It kind of felt like it a little bit last night. It felt like the end of the Fun Friday streams a little bit.
No.
I was about to say, man, because I could start fucking with someone till dawn. This Friday coming up.
Oh, well, if that's the case,
we're done. We're done.
I have no problem.
I think Freaky Friday needs to come back. I really do. It's something I actually miss for some fucked up reason.
Wow. Well, then we're doing it. Yeah. This upcoming Friday that needs to happen.
I have a few things that I want to add to the stream so that way people can try to spook me. So we'll go ahead and kind of see how it goes. Let's do it.
The transformation is complete. We have officially taken this boy over.
No,
when it comes to these.
Because look, I am very curious on what it's going to be like with me now with my current anxiety mediating situations. So let's see what happens.
It doesn't matter. It's going to shoot. You're going to shit yourself. Listen, you just got to do me a favor and you have to play the game like I played and like Andy played. You have to play it in the dark. 100%.
I mean, I'm going to play it in the dark.
100% in the dark.
Look, I got to keep the ring light on so that way people can see me when I stream. But other than that,
TV's bright enough. I think a TV will be bright enough. They'll be able to see.
We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know because that game's super dark. Like everything in that game is dark.
Maybe
even the snow. Like that's about as bright as you get.
Nah. So look, there's a very good chance that could happen this week coming up. So we'll talk about it and we'll see. And also, I do really want to ask y'all if you like what we do, if you appreciate what we do, throw us a comment. Fucking 5 stars, man. Yo, just let us know. Cause
fucking find me and fight me, bud.
We're not doing a Donnybrook. God damn. There's no Donnybrook happening.
Just punch me in the mouth.
Just fucking punch me in the mouth.
All right, y'all. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was fun. Until next time, please, y'all, stay safe. Wash your hands. Mask up. Do what you got to do to feel good. It's all about feeling good, y'all. And as always,
game on.
Okay, bye.
Game on, y'all. Be good. Peace.